everyone, welcome back to Wildwood Cottage and welcome back to Wales. It's lovely to have you here. Hope you're all well. It's a beautiful day here today and the sun's shining. It's lovely and warm in some spring sunshine. The birds are singing their song that they sing in spring and I've hurt my back. So that was the reason for no vlog on Sunday. I've got a few things I want to show you from what I've done the last week, so I'm going to show you that, and we're going to have a little look in the garden and in the polytunnel. So I found a salamander in the polytunnel this morning. I'm not sure if he's living in there because of the pond, the little tiny pond that I've put in there, but he seemed very happy with me being around. He just sat there just watching me, but by the time I'd taken my camera to go and take a photograph, he'd gone. But yeah, so it's a beautiful day. So I've been doing a couple of jobs around the place, but I've been working in different parts of the garden. I've got the rose walk finished. I've got the sound barrier pretty much finished. The border still needs sorting out, but I can't do that while I've got a bad back. I've been going round and I've been taking plants out that are growing in the wrong place or that are seedlings, just saplings that have appeared in the garden. So I'm going to do that in a separate video and show you what I've done. But I thought it was a good way of filling up this yard area here because we've got the stones now. But again, I can't do it because of my back. I woke up with it, I think it was yesterday morning. I just kind of moved awkwardly in bed and I went ouch, and I've been saying ouch since. There's somebody working out there and he wants to know who it is. Anyway, sorry, I'm not compass mentis today because of my back, but I've finished clearing the yard, so I just need to put down the weed membrane and the stones on top. So I'm hoping to have that done for the weekend's video for you, and I'll show you that. Everything's coming back lovely. Even the hornbeam is coming back really nice this year. I gave it a cut in the winter, and normally it doesn't start to come back until sort of end of April, beginning of May, and it's nearly in full leaf already. It looks absolutely beautiful. The camellia's doing well, and yeah, everything just feels like spring. We're back in British summertime again now. Clocks have gone forward yesterday, and yeah, hopeful of a good summer this year. Anyway, I'm just going to get my cup of coffee. I'm reading another book called Square Foot Gardening, and I thought it might be useful in the polytunnel and on the yard area here, because once I've got the stones down, I'm going to start putting a lot more plants here. And if I can do it for free, I've got pallets that I need to break up, and I'm going to make some raised beds for growing some vegetables, just salady stuff and herbs and things like that. And that'll then be out the dog's way. And yeah, just generally get this place tidied up. I've got 2 solar fountains now as well, and I want to set up some little tiny fountains, pond type things, just a few plants in. So I've got loads of pond plants from when I had the ponds in the big buckets. Yeah, so I want to start doing that again, but unfortunately all the fish died, but I think I can still have a nice little water feature. Here, there's one in the polytunnel, and I'm thinking of moving the water feature that's in the polytunnel outside the polytunnel into the Belfast sink. And then I'm going to do another one up at the secret garden and one round on the patio on the porch. And I think that'll help with the noise at the back as well. If I've got a little bit of water movement in the garden, it might be a little bit more meditative, a bit more relaxing, and help me to stay calm when he's making a lot of noise, which today he's not here, so that's really nice. I've got the place to myself. But right, anyway, I'm going to get my cup of coffee and then we're going to go and have a look in the garden and I'll show you what I've been up to. In keeping with my wartime theme was my potatoes. I went looking for varieties that were typical of the war, and I managed to find 3. I was looking for the Home Guard and they didn't have any. The place where I get my potatoes from, apparently they're not available anymore. Now you probably still can get them. I think Wilkinson's, if Wilkinson's is near you, they always used to sell home guard, but I don't know if they do. My local garden centre didn't have any. I tried them. You could probably get them online, but I wanted to get them done in time for St Patrick's Day, which I missed again. I like to get them in on St Patrick's Day simply because it's a tradition. Everyone always plants their potatoes on St Patrick's Day. Well, they did on the allotment anyway. All the old gentlemen used to come up, those who were retired and that, and they come up on St Patrick's Day and all start planting their early potatoes. But I missed it. Anyway, I managed to buy them on St Patrick's Day, if that counts, but I didn't manage to get them planted. Excuse all the noise, but I've lost my microphones. And yeah, I'm just having to muddle through without the microphone, so I can't cut out the wind noise, unfortunately. Anyway, potatoes. I just get them and I'll show you what I got. So the first thing I got is these Kerr's pink. And they're a decent size. It says grow time 15 to 22 weeks. It's a main crop variety, so you want to start sowing these probably end of May, beginning of April, I would think. I'm going to do these in April here, simply because it's far too wet at the moment. Even though we've had some lovely weather, the garden's still a bit wet, and as you can see, it needs clearing. So I've got these, I'm going to put them out. They've already got some lovely shoots on them, just a sec. They've already got some good shoots on them, as you can see. Now, what they used to do on the allotments was, if you had that kind of thing where you had a shoot there and a shoot there, was they used to cut them in half and plant both. Now, I've never done that, so I don't know if that works, but I might try with a few of these and see if it works. But as you can see, a lot of them have got shoots on. They're ready to go in the garden, and they really need planting. So I might do a few of them in a couple of bags, because I've got some growing bags. So I might put them in and put them on the yard. The other one I've got is King Edward's. Now, these are a really popular variety because you can get these in the supermarket. So it's a good variety, it's a good sturdy variety, and again, it's a main crop. These ones have got a bit of a pink tinge to the flesh, but these ones are just a traditional good white potato, and again, as you can see, they've got some good shoots on them. And then the other one I got was a Duke of York, and these are a first early potato which can go out now, and again, as you can see through the bag, they've got some really good shoots on them. So what I thought I would do was, I thought I'd do a row in here, so I'm going to put that next to my peas here, and I thought that that'll give me a good early start to getting a good early start of potatoes, because these ones will grow in 10 to 12 weeks, so between 1 and 2 months time. So if I get these in here now in the polytunnel, keep them watered, look after them, I'll be having potatoes hopefully in 10 weeks time, in another 2.5 months. So what's that? April, May. In June, I'll be getting a harvest of these, so that's going to be good. I'm thinking as well of putting some in a bag outside, and I may get some more, see if I can get some more. But these were the 3 wartime varieties from the Second World War that were in my book. If I can find the book again, it was in one of my last videos, because it's the book I'm following for my garden. I'll pop it in the I button for you. But these are the 3 varieties that I could find that are in keeping with the list on the wartime book. I'm just sorting out the early potatoes, and I've decided I'm going to try cutting them like I explained to you the other day in my video that they used to do during the war to make the seed potatoes go further, because they wanted to make sure that everybody had a supply of seed potatoes. So what a lot of big gardeners used to do was they used to cut the potato. Now there is a particular way in which you can do it, so I'm going to show you, but I've already done some. I'll just get them. And these are the ones that I'm going to put in the polytunnel in here. And what I've done is, you get a potato like this, which is just an ordinary seed potato. These ones are the Red Duke of York, and they're early potatoes. And what you can do is, if you get a potato like this, let me show you. If you get a potato like this, sorry about the light, it's because it's first thing in the morning. It's only about 8:30 in the morning. And you get a shoot here, you've got a shoot here, and you've got a shoot here. Now, potentially, you've got another shoot here. You've got potentially 3 potatoes in that one potato, looking at the technique they used to do during the war. So all you do is you decide where you're going to cut it. So I'm going to cut it here first. There you go. So there's one, there's two. Now I could cut it here as well between these two shoots. So that's what I'm going to do. So there is a shoot here and there is a shoot here. So I'm going to try and leave them on. So all you're doing is you're just cutting. I know it's not very safe cutting into my hands, but there you go. Now, when you're growing a potato, this bit here is what's going to produce the new plant. It does put roots out, but it does have roots on it and side shoots. So that is going to be what grows in the soil. Right, so I've got these shoots here, and as you can see, there's a root on it just there. And these are what are going to grow into the actual plant. The roots obviously are going to go that way up, and then it's going to put on leaves, and it's going to grow up and up and up and up, and the potatoes form on the stem, which is why you earth them up, and that keeps them under the soil, stops the light getting to them and stops them going green and poisonous. So I'm going to try planting these in a seed tray. These are the potatoes that are left. As you can see, there's plenty of root on them, and these ones are just growing out of what's called an eye. These bits here are called eyes, and this is where the shoot comes out of. I'm saying this to anyone who's new to gardening. To any of you who are old dab hands at gardening, then you don't need to know this. But here's another one with two shoots on. So what you can do is you can get your knife, cut through. Make sure you've got an eye on each side. And there's your two potatoes. So I've done this with a few of them. I've got a load of ones which have only got single eyes on them, single shoots on them. So they're going to stay as they are. This has got a lovely shoot on it. Look at that. So yeah, that's just what I've been doing. I've been sourcing them out. I've decided I'm going to divide, cut up as many as I can, because I was going to buy another bag and I don't want to have to go and spend another £4 when really I think this method's going to work. So I'm going to double my amount of potatoes. I'm going to cut up what I've got. I'm going to get quite a good crop of earlies. So I'm going to do 2 rows in here. So I'm going to do 20 in here with these. And then I'm going to do some in the soil outside. I'm going to do some in bags. And we're just going to see what the difference is in the harvest time. And what the difference is between a full potato. And what the difference is between my cut up potatoes. Just a little experiment for me really. And then hopefully I'll end up with a good harvest of potatoes. Because I've put a really good dose of compost on. And I've got farmyard manure as well that I bought yesterday. So I'm going to give them a bit of farmyard manure when I dig the planting hole. They're only going to go in the chip bark, and then as they grow up they'll have compost above to fertilise the plant, but just to get them started so they've got no restrictions, so that the plant can put on plenty of growth. I'm just going to put these in the bark underneath the compost, and then as they grow I'll just earth them up with fresh compost. So that's my plan. So I'm going to put them in. I'll put the camera on and I'll show you me planting them. And yeah, we'll see what we can get. So as I say, these are going to go in the polytunnel, 2 rows. I've got 19 in here, so I'll get 2 rows in the polytunnel. And then I've got a lot of potatoes left to cut up. I mean, this one's fantastic. This has got 1, 2, look at this one. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's got 6. Oh, it did have 6 shoots. So yeah, this one's got plenty, so I'm going to get a lot out of this one. But I'm tempted just to leave as it is. Ooh, what to do? Anyway, that's a really good one. So yeah, they're my plans. I've got quite a few. I've got about, I need to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got about 17 just with the single shoots. I got a lot of potato in that bag, It's definitely worthwhile going. I got 2 kilos of potatoes in each bag, so it's definitely worth going. I might try it with the main crop, but I'm more focused on the earlies because I'm going to get these a lot quicker. These are going to come through in 10 to 12 weeks, so that's like 2.5 months to 3 months. So I'm going to be eating these by June, by the end of June. So I'm more focused on these because I'm really liking new potatoes, and I haven't tasted these before, and these are a wartime variety. So yeah, really excited. So I'm just going to get my shovel and then I'll show you what I'm doing on the bed. Just a sec. So this is where I'm going to be planting them, the other side of my peas. And that's just going to give a little bit of shelter to my peas, which, you know, they're doing really well. They're coming up great. I mean, this one here has put on loads of growth. I have been watering them and they're really liking the compost. So I'm really pleased about that. My lettuce are starting to come back. They always wilt round the edges. That's normal. So I'm going to take these leaves off. But they're starting to come back inside and I'm going to get a good crop of lettuce. So if I take these off, I forgot to harvest the leaves. So yeah, I forgot to harvest the leaves, so that's my fault. But the chickens can have them and then I'll get a nice crop. Right, so this is where my potatoes are going to go along here. I'll just do the end one because I've got my nice shoes on. I've just come back from the garage, but I wanted to show you this before I went into my day. So I've got my little shovel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the compost out a bit, move it out of the way so I don't end up with loads of bark, and then dig my hole like that, and then get my potato. Oh, there's my potato. I'm just going to plonk that eye up so it can get to the light better. Let's just pull a bit more of that out of the way. There we go, like that. Eye up. Make sure your eye is up. Cover that over, put the compost back over, and then I'm going to do that all the way along and then come all the way back, and that should be my 2 rows, and then the rest can go outside. I just wanted to see if I could get an early crop in the polytunnel. My radishes are starting to grow back again. Have you seen these? There you go, look. So I'm going to harvest the shoots because they're doing well. But wait until I get a good harvest off them. So I'm going to leave them there. So they need watering again. So that's my plan. I'm going to do that now. And I'll see you in a bit and have a look at something else. Right, so this is my project this morning. This is the first side of the victory garden for growing food, and this is where I want to put my potatoes. I do have some onions left in from last year, so I'm going to check them out. I have a kale plant over here somewhere that needs sorting out, and these sticks here are the Jerusalem artichokes, which need to come out as well. I thought the rats had them, but there's actually some tubers there. So I want to harvest a couple for myself, but the rest of them I'm going to dig out and I'm going to put them back in again. And I always plant them back in the same spot because they spread everywhere, absolutely everywhere. The sticks sticking up from where Gordon used to have them. And I just find it's much easier just to have them in the one place. So I'm going to leave them there. That's where they're going to stay. I am thinking of putting them down the side of the polytunnel, but I'm also thinking of putting some rhubarb there because I want the rhubarb is at the back there at the moment, and I want the chickens to be able to have a tunnel from their house up there, coming right along the back of the fruit, along the hedge here, all the way down, and then back round the hedge, and then back round the other side, and then there'll be like a T thing here where they can then join back onto the main part and go back into their run. And I'm thinking that's going to give them a good bit of space to be able to get out. So that's my thinking for that. Sorry about the banging, don't know what that was. So yeah, I need to clear all this grass now. This is Gordon's mint and it is going to come back. That was where he had it and I've put it back. I did move it, but I put it back. And I need to get this area sorted out. These are my walking stick kale. They've been there for 3 years now. I am going to harvest the seeds off this one when I get the seeds, but I'm still harvesting the leaves. And I have this one here. I've let it go to flower because they're getting on it. They're getting past it now, and I can get the seeds off it, and the bees can pollinate the flowers and get some pollen. So happy about that. So all this here needs clearing. I was going to put plastic down, but you know, I'd like to get all the grass out, and I just like to get down to the bare soil. So that's what I'm going to do now. I don't dig. I use this. This is my Wartime hack that I got off Gordon. I don't know what make it is, but it is an original hack that was Gordon's from the war. Where are we? Bulldog, made in England. There you go. And I inherited this when he died. So I think it's a bit like Trigger's brush. I think it has been fixed many times. I think the handle's been replaced a couple of times. But yeah, it still works and it's great. So that's what I'm going to clear the surface of the soil. I'm just going to loosen the surface of the soil. I'm not going to turn it over. And I'm just going to get all the grass off, and then we can get the potatoes in. I had the potatoes there last year, so I think this year I'm going to put the potatoes next to the Jerusalem artichokes, and then I'm going to carry on the garden along here. And usually I put my courgettes and my sweet corn in here. Sweet corn hasn't done very well the last few years, simply because it's been too cold. Right, Stripe's in bed, so let's get on with it. So what I'll end up doing is I'll end up putting this around the garden, this turf, and it'll just do the patches in the lawn. Yeah, right. I'll carry on with this and see how many strawberry plants we can get. And then when I'm putting the potatoes in, I'll come back and show you putting the potatoes in. There you go, nice strawberry plant, ready to go in with the raspberries. I don't know if I've shown you this yet. This is my new archway into the secret garden. It has a gate. I've been busy tidying up, as you can see, and I've started building a dead hedge. It was suggested to me before, got loads of dead branches, and I've started building a dead hedge, and I'm going to take it up to the top of the post, and then I'm going to build a little piece of trellis at the top of each one with the curved branches that I've got, and grow some climbers. I planted a Russian vine in here, and that's then going to cover this fence here. I've got some beautiful branches as well, as I showed you in the last video, from my Philadelphus tree. And I'm going to do a fence along here as well. So that's going to tidy that up. I've put my bench in. So yeah, it's a lot tidier in here now. This is where the chickens are going to have a new run. They're going to come out of here, round there, and then round there. So that's going to be better for them. And then when you come through the gateway here, I'll put a nice little gate on here. And then I've put this trellis. So this is kind of the thing I'm going to do on the field fence. And then I'm just going to fill it in with loads of pretty branches like these Philadelphus branches that I've got. I love them. I really just love the shape of them. And then I'm going to grow things. I'm going to extend the hedge along here and extend this bit of hedge along here. And then I've got a rose to go here. And the rose is going to go over the top. I've got that Constance Spry David Austin that I got last year. Where are we? Here she is. Constance Spry. I'm going to plant her down there, and then she's going to grow up there. Apparently she's a 15-metre shrub, a 15-metre rose. So she's going to grow everywhere, all around here. And I've just noticed these buds are going to flower. These buds are going to sprout as well. So I'm going to have some leaf. So anyway, that's what I've been up to. I've been playing around. I really love this. I had an archway like this in my other house before we moved here. And I'll just show you. So as I get more branches, I'm just going to keep adding to the arch, and then the rose will just fill that, and it'll be beautiful. It'll be really pretty. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having that done. I'm happy I've done this, and as you can see, I'm going to start trailing these branches. Where are they? These branches, and bringing them across here. And then that's just going to fill that gap in. So I've also got, let me just show you something else. I've also got all of these cuttings from doing the hedge, which I did last week. And what I've decided is this hedge here has got tons of holes in it, loads of holes where all Gordon used to fall over. And he just used to fall through the hedge and stay there and wait for someone to pick him up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in all the holes and try and thicken up this hedge and make it a really nice thick hedge. I'm going to leave the holly, but there's loads of box, and I thought if I do some cuttings I could do like a box hedge edge along my borders and keep the dog off, just try and distract the dog's attention. I think that'd look good. Just a sec, the planes are coming. So yeah, as you can see, I've got a lot to do. I've got a lot to tidy up. My azalea is looking really good. So we're going to have some lovely flowers on it again. You know, we had that lovely pink azalea last year. Well, this is it. I'd like to see if I could do cuttings off it. But yeah, so I think that's it for now. Well, I think that's it for me for today. As you can see, the sun's shining. It's been a lovely day. And I've had lots of garden time. Sorry about the noise in the background, but they're clearing the logs on the hill where I take the dog in that direction. So they're being quite noisy at the moment. They're clearing all the logs away so that they can get taken away by the lorry, and then I think they're going to be finished. But yeah, you can see the lovely sunshine behind me on the hill there. Since the beech trees fell over, we've had more light and I've been able to see further into the distance, so that's been nice. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed a look around my garden, a look in the secret garden, and I hope you've enjoyed having a look in my polytunnel and doing the potatoes with me. So if you have enjoyed my video, do like and subscribe, do hit that notification bell, and that'll tell you when I upload new videos. And if you'd like to support me on Ko-fi, I do have a link in the description bar below and in the comments section where you can buy me a cup of coffee or the dog a treat. So I hope you've enjoyed my video. I'll see you in the next video and enjoy the rest of your week. So take care, bye for now, bye bye.